we have finished our multiplication table. Do we have any questions on the times tables?
No.
No, right? It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual lesson for today, which is dividing, right? So it's important that we know our times tables because dividing is like backwards multiplication, okay? That's what I like to call it. We got to figure out what times what is going to give me, you know, the answers that I'm looking for. And I'm muting you guys because I want it to be quiet so we can get through this because, like I said, we have a lot of information to do today. So the first thing is we have our dividing. We have 351 divided by 9. Now, when we see it set up like this, you know, it's not something that we usually use, right? We're used to the little house, right? So the last number always goes on the outside and the first number goes on the inside, okay? So it's 351 divided by 9. So now I need to go step by step, right? And I'm going to show you guys, even if you know what to do, I'm going to do it step by step just in case we are a little confused. You know, it was a long summer, even longer, I think, because of last year you ended up having to finish school on the computer, and you know, it was a little weird. So I want to go step by step to make sure that we all understand what we're doing. So first I need to figure out 9 times what equals 3.
Three.
9 times 3 equals 3. Rachel?
3.
1.
What was it?
1.
So let me go over and look at my table, right? We conveniently have this multiplication. Here's my 9s. Do any of my 9s equal 3?
No.
No.
27.
Can I see it?
Hold on. We're going step by step. So no. So I can't do 9 into 3. Doesn't work. So now I have to look over, and let me not have my highlighter on. And I'm going to look at the 35. Well, let me go back. What number gets close to 35 without going over?
27.
27. Okay, so now I'm going to take my highlighter. Here's 27. So it is what? 9 times 3. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put my 3 up at the top. And I'm going to subtract 27 from 35. Can I do 5 minus 7? No. So
No.
I have to borrow or regroup. So I'm taking from that 3, now becomes a 2, and now I have 15 minus 7. So what is 15 minus 7?
7. 8.
8. So 15 minus 7 is 8. 2 minus 2 is just 0. So now I have to bring down my 1. And that's going to give me 81. So now let me go back to my multiplication table. Conveniently, we did a multiplication table today, right? Now, do I see 81 or close to 81 without going over? Yes, Rachel.
9.
Times 9.
Yes, so times 9. So I'm going to take my highlighter. Right, there's 81. And it's 9 times 9. So I'm going to go back to my problem. I'm going to put my 9 up here, subtract 81. 81 minus 81 is going to give me what?
0.
0. Is that what you were going to say, Rachel? Yeah, so it's going to give me 0. So my answer is what? Rachel, go ahead and say it.
39.
39. Okay, so if I wanted to check, I would just do 39
Times 9.
times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. I carry my 8. 9 times 3 is 27, plus that 8 gives me 35. So my answer checks out. Okay. So the next one, they already put it in the little house for us, so we don't even have to do that. But I have a 31 on the outside. Now, I already know 31 is not going to ever multiply into 8, right? So I need to start looking at this 87. Now, 31, I don't expect you guys to know your times tables for the 31s. But what we can do is it's close enough to 30, right? It's only one up from 30. And 30 is really just 3 with a 0 attached. So I can multiply anything by 30, and it's really just multiplying by 2 and then adding that 0 on the end. Okay, so let's say I go ahead and try 2. So what would 30 times 2 be?
60.
60, right? Because 3 times 2 is 6, and I want to keep that 0 at the end. Okay, so 31 times 2 is going to be close to 60, but now I want to try and make sure that that's the closest I can get. Okay, so I'm going to try 30 times 3. What is that going to be?
90.
90, right? 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to stick that 0 on the end. Okay, so 90, too much, right? It's 3 over 87, and I know that if I multiply 31 times 3, I'm actually going to have more than 90, okay? So my number that I want to stick with is 62, or 60, which is 30 times 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication of 31 times 2, which is, we can kind of guess it's going to be 62. So we have 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 up here. I'm going to subtract by 62. 7 minus 2 is?
5.
5. And then 8 minus 6?
2.
2.
2. So now I have 25 there, and I'm going to bring down my 8. Now, I'm going to go over back to my multiplication table, and I'm going to now look at my 3's. So in my 3's, right, because we're using 30 to estimate, and I need to see what number is going to come close, and the number I'm now looking at is 25. Remember, I have to do the 25 because what? I'm looking at 3. Well, I'm looking at 30, but remember, it's just anything times 3 with that extra 0 on the end. Okay, so anything here that is close to 25 but does not go over, which number are we thinking?
8 times 3.
8 times 3, that is 24. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, okay, well, let me figure out now what exactly is 31 times 8, right? So 8 times 1 is 8, and then 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm pretty close, right? I already need to realize that if I were to go to 9, I would go way over, right? So I'm going to put my 8, let me switch back to the same color, my 8 here, and I'm going to subtract 248. So 8 minus 0 is, 8 minus 8,
0.
0. 5 minus 4,
1.
and then 2 minus 2 is just what?
0.
0. So, am I done?
No. No.
No, what do I do next?
You put that one on top.
Why?
I'm confused.
It becomes
well,
the remainder.
Here comes the remainder.
it becomes the remainder, right? I don't have any other numbers up here, so there's nothing I can bring down. And I already know, can I multiply anything times 31 to get to 10?
No.
No, right? 31 is too big of a number. 31 times 1 is going to be, what, 31. So it's not going to do me any good. And if I were to put 0, right, because technically 31 times 0 is going to be 0. It'll be less than 10. But what'll happen? I'll just get 10 again. I will always be getting 10 no matter what. So this 10 becomes my remainder. Okay. Are we good now, Rachel? Okay. I was kind of tricking you guys. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that that was the remainder. There's nothing else we can do. All right. So the last one. So the average person has 1,460 dreams a year. What is the average number of dreams a person has each night? All right. So what kind of operation are we going to be doing here? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Which one?
Division.
Division. Right? Is that what you were going to say, Rachel? Division, right? We're dividing, so it kind of makes sense. So I'm going to do my division. Now I'm going to set it up first, right? So I know I have 1,460. Now, that's going to be inside the house, right? Because it's asking about the number of dreams each night. What is going to go on the outside of the house? I'm going to give you guys a moment. Put it in the chat. I want to see. Put in the chat what the number on the outside of the house is going to be. I only have 2 people guessing so far. So Ian has entered his guess twice. Come on, guys. What do you think is going to go on the outside of the division problem? Put it in the chat. All right. So let's think about what it's asking me. It's asking me the average person has 1,460 dreams a year. Okay, what is the average number of dreams a person has each night? So I think we are trying to focus on, I think we are on the right path for 2 of my people, but we are a little off. How many days are there in a year?
365 days.
Mm-hmm. So how many nights would be in a year? $365. So a common answer. So a common answer that I see a lot is 1. Okay, so I saw 1 yesterday in my periods as well as this one. Why? Because we're thinking a year, and a year is 1 year, right? Oh, well, if they're asking how many dreams these people have, you know, why wouldn't I do 1 year? But it says each night. So that's the important part to remember. If they had, let's say they doubled this number. So whatever this number is times 2, which is what? 0, 12, 11. I think it's that. 2,120. If they told me a person dreams 2,120 dreams, find the average that they dream per year, then I would look into doing that simpler number. But because it says each night, I need to use 365. Okay, so 365 is kind of a weird number. I can't do any shortcuts like I did with 30 and 31, but I know that I have 3 place values on the outside. So I'm already going to immediately look at my first three numbers. So my first three numbers, can I multiply 365 to get to 1460 or 146? Can I go backwards in my multiplication? Yes or no?
No.
No, right? So I have to look, unfortunately, at the entire number. So much like I didn't expect you guys to know your 31 times tables, I don't expect you to know your 365 times table, okay? So when it comes to numbers like this that are just really big, and you know, when you're doing your FSA, you are not allowed to use a calculator. I don't think you guys get to use the calculator. So it is important that you guys don't spend 20 minutes guessing numbers, okay? There are two main numbers you should always test for. Number one is 2, anything times 2. If you don't know what the factors are of that big number, try 2 first, okay? If 2 is too low, okay, jump up to 5, right? Pick two numbers, right? 2 and 5 are pretty easy. Almost everyone knows their 5s and their 2s, okay? So you want to focus on those two numbers, 5 and 2, and you try them out. So I'm going to start with my 2s, right? Because I don't know anything about my 365. So I'm going to multiply by 2. 2 times 5 is 10. I carry my 1. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 1 more is 13. Carry my 1 again. And I have 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 1. So I'm at 730. Now, there's something I can notice about this problem. Can anyone tell me? Before I multiply by 5, there's something I can notice about this times 2.
It's higher
Higher than what?
than the division.
Well, I'm looking for 1,460. So.
Oh, no, it's lower.
It is lower, but what else do I notice? There's a key number. All right, I will show you guys. Only one person got this yesterday. I had to tell all my other classes yesterday, so don't worry about it. What I have 7. This 7 right here. What is 7 times 2?
14.
14. Oh my goodness, there's a 14 right there. So what is my next number I want to multiply by?
3 times 2.
Okay, so kind of. So I know that I need to, if I multiply 7 times 2, I'm going to get 14, right? So that means I'm going to get close to that 1460. So I have two options, right? I can multiply 730 by 2. Or if I want to save time, I can actually do, so I have here a 2. This one's a 2. So if I'm multiplying something by 2 and by 2 again, it's the same as multiplying by what?
Teacher, I hear.
Okay, I see you, Sam. So if I'm multiplying a number by 2 and then I'm multiplying it again by 2, it's the same as multiplying by what? Think about it. If you guys think you know, you can put it in the chat. If you're not confident about saying it out loud, you can put it in the chat. I am the only one who sees your chat messages. And someone got it. So we have times 4, right? If I'm multiplying something by 2 and then I multiply it by 2 again, I'm really multiplying it by 4. So I'm going to show you both ways, right? So if I have 730 times 2, I'm going to do 2 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is 6, and 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, now if I did 365 times 4, I'm going to go ahead and do 5 times 4, which is 20. Hey guys, I do see your messages. We need to get through these lessons. Remember, when we do the bell ringer, if you haven't finished the bell ringer, don't worry too much. Make sure you pay attention to the lesson, okay? I know that these are recorded, but you do need to pay attention to the lessons in real time because it's a little bit different than when you watch it on the YouTube, right? Because maybe you have a question that no one asked while I'm teaching this, and you end up being totally lost, okay? So please pay attention to the lesson at this time. So 4 times 6 is going to be what?
24.
24 plus that 2 is 26. And then 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. Okay? Now I see our faces. I don't know if today we're just really tired. What's going on?
I was just a little confused.
Where were we confused?
No, because I was confused because when you put when we had to divide, I was trying to solve it, but I didn't know because I never did a 3-digit number with a 4-digit number by dividing.
So it's the same thing as the 2, right? When there's a 2, it's just an extra number at the end. Okay? I want to tell you guys, you don't have to do all this. This part where I asked you guys about the 7, and if you multiply it by 2, it gives you 14. You don't have to do that. If you're unsure about that, don't worry. Do it step by step. Do it by 2 and do it by 5, and then figure out where you need to go from there. Okay? I'm giving you guys extra options so that, for those of you who understand it, and I get it if you're confused about it at the beginning, it's going to be confusing no matter what. Okay? But I'm trying to give you guys hints and tips so that you guys can, kind of figure it out whatever way works for you, right? Because everyone learns math differently. So you can just do 365. I'll work it out over here. 365 times 5 after we saw that 2 didn't work. 5 times 5 is 25. I carry my 2. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus that 2 is 32. And then 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3, it gives me 18. So I know anything past 5 is too high. Yes, Antonio.
Well, I wasn't really keeping track of what you were doing because I was trying to finish the multiplication table.
Okay, so that's what I was saying before. You got to make sure that you pay attention because the multiplication table, it's here and, we've been going back and forth, but we did fill it out together and it is going to be on the video, but it's not what we're learning, okay? So it is important that you pay attention to what we're learning today because that way, if you have any questions, you could be 10 times lost and you can be, a little bit lost. I'd rather you be a little bit lost than 10 times lost because you missed the whole lesson. Okay?
Me?
Yes.
Actually, I don't think I need to copy the multiplication because in the end of the notebook, there's a multiplication chart.
There is one I know in that black and white one. They have a multiplication chart. But I think it's good to have. You guys should be practicing your multiplication tables anyway. So you don't get a multiplication table for your FSA. So it is important to know your times tables. Okay. But, just like I was saying, make sure you pay attention to the lesson. Okay. So I did 365 times 5 and it was too much. So then I'd want to go backwards. I already did 2 and it was too little. I did 5 and it was too much. So you can choose to either do 3 or 4, right? You got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. The one thing I want to avoid is you guys spending 20 minutes multiplying by a bunch of different numbers just to try and find what's close, okay? So I have now my answer was 4. So I'm going to put 4 all the way at the end, and 4 is 1460. I subtract, so 1,460 minus 1,460 is what? What is 1,460 minus 1,460?
0.
0, right? 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 6 is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is just what? What is my answer?
4.
4. I'll put it in pink. So the average person dreams 4 or has 4 dreams each night. Okay? Any questions on this? I promise it'll get better with practice. I am going to be doing extra videos covering dividing numbers and all that stuff. So do not worry. Don't stress yourself out. Rachel, you seem very stressed out over this. Calm down. Relax. You'll get it done, okay? I'm going to do like videos where I just solve like 20 problems all on this, okay? And I'm going to do it step by step. And you watch them over and over and over again, and you should be fine, okay? As long as you know your times tables, division is easy, all right? So now Sarah asked about iReady testing. We start our iReady testing on Monday. That is the other thing we need to go over. So I'm going to switch now from the screen over to the presentation 4. Get ready to take your diagnostic. So I wanted to go over with this, with you guys today, because I didn't want to have to do it on Monday when we're supposed to be testing. Now, when we are doing your test, you are not going to rush through, okay? You are going to take your time. You are going to try your hardest, and we are going to break it down, okay? It should be over the course of 2 days. That's how long it should take. And I will let you know on Monday when you're supposed to stop. So I'm going to go through this little PowerPoint quickly. It's only like 9 slides or something. So what we will cover in this little PowerPoint, things to know, what to expect, introduction videos, tips, and let's remember. So the first thing, why are we taking the iReady diagnostic? Does anyone know why we take the iReady diagnostic?
To see what place is at.
Okay, Rachel, what do you want to say?
For the teachers to see where we're at, basically.
Yes, so I want to see where you guys are, right? Because then I can go ahead and I can plan my lesson. So, oh well, you know what? They need some work in their times tables, right? For example, okay. So then I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I really give you guys a lot of timetables work, okay?
Is it for a grade?
The iReady, if I will talk about that for a second. In a second, I will do it at the end of the PowerPoint. So remember, the diagnostic is important because it helps you and your teachers show what you know. Try your best so that you can show what you've learned. Understand what you already know and what you need to learn. I don't know why they put that picture right on the top of their bubble, but it is so that, we know what to figure out. So your online lessons. If you try your best on the diagnostic, lessons will match what you need to learn. So it's important to note the 2 sides. There's teacher assigned and there's the path, right? So when you're doing the My Path, that's specifically focusing on how you do on your diagnostic. The teacher assigned are what I give you, okay? So let's say we're doing, like we've been doing now, the dividing decimals, okay? Well, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna find the iReady lesson on dividing decimals, and I'm gonna assign it to you guys, okay? And, there's 2 sides. So whenever I give you a lesson for iReady and I tell you do your iReady for homework, it's usually under the teacher assigned, all right? So how does the diagnostic work? The iReady is an adaptive test. That means the questions change based on your answers. So your questions are not all going to be the same. It's going to give you hard questions, easy questions, and questions that are just right, okay? That means that maybe they give you a question that is really for 7th grade, okay? That's really hard and you don't really know what to do, but you have to at least try, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit. But then they might give you questions from like kindergarten, like how many, I don't know, butterflies are
1 plus
pictured.
1.
Huh?
1 plus 1.
Yeah, so yeah, things like that. 1 plus 1, count how many there are of this item, things like that. Really easy. And then there's going to be things that you should have learned last year, okay? I don't know what you guys should have learned last year. Probably decimals, right? So something about that. Now, why is the diagnostic really important now? So the past spring, you guys were learning from home. So you did not take your FSA, you did not get new scores and all that stuff. So I really don't know how much you guys learned from last year. So doing your best on the diagnostic now will help you and your teacher know what you learned while you were at home and what you are ready to learn. Okay, so that helps me with, you know, if we're moving too fast, if I need to go over one lesson more than once, okay? So it is important that you guys try your best. So you will see questions, you know, okay, I need to fix this because it's not working out. Oh, I can't fix it. Okay, you will see questions you won't know how to answer because you haven't learned them yet. That is okay. Choose the best answer and move on. Do not rush, but do not spend too much time. Give me a second. I'm going to grab, make sure the best use of your learning time. So these are all the slides that got all jumbled up together. Show what you know. We talked about the online lessons. Some questions will be hard. All right. So what should you do? Remember, this test is adaptive. You should try your best, but know that you'll get questions you don't know how to answer. Okay? I don't know why it's stuck there. I don't know what happened. It got stuck. Oh no. What a disaster, right? Oh my goodness. Let me see what's happening. Or kicked me out. Let's see if it works now. There we go. Okay. This should be better. Okay. So remember, this test is adaptive. You should try your best, but know that you'll get questions you don't know how to answer. Do not freak out. Do not try and Google them or ask for help. Why? Because that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help me. Okay. Let's say that we all get a problem that's like, I don't know, multiplying or dividing 10 digits by 10 digits, okay? Something really crazy. And you guys are like, I have no idea, but I'm just going to use this calculator so I can get the question right. Then you know what happens is when we get to that actual lesson, I'm going to say, oh, well, you know, they all got that question right. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. And then what happens is you don't get to really learn the lesson, okay? It is not a good idea to try and get the right answer. There's no getting the right answer in this test. It's trying to figure out where you guys are so I can plan accordingly so you can learn as much as you can this year, okay? Try your best. Do not rush, but do not spend too much time on any one question. So remember, don't spend half an hour solving one question when you have the rest of the test to finish, okay? Don't try and do that. I don't rush also, right? Don't just guess numbers just to get the test over with. I know that from other students in the past, I have heard that the test is not very exciting, and I keep getting kicked out of the meeting. So I have heard that it is not very exciting. You know, you guys have to sit there, but try and understand that it is for a reason, not to rush. And also remember that your teacher has to sit there and just watch you. So it is very boring for me as well, right? I would much rather be teaching and, you know, helping you guys out and all that stuff. Okay, so don't, you know, don't try and rush it and get it done quickly, okay? You will see questions you won't know how to answer because you haven't learned them yet. That is okay. Choose the best answer and move on. Try and, like I said, try and figure it out. If you can't, don't spend 20 minutes. Don't have a panic attack. Okay, I saw in today's lesson, Rachel's hair was going a little crazy. She was all stressed out over it. Okay, don't pull your hair out for this. Just try your best, all right? Once you log in, you will see this. Choose a subject, right? You guys should have already seen this page because it's reading. But, you know, we will also do math, which is what you will click on Monday, okay? It will also say math diagnostic. And I think I got kicked out of the meeting again, but because now it's all stuck. But this is very, very horrible that this is happening. Let me try it again. Yeah, I got kicked out again. No, I'm in here 3 times now. I don't know what's going on with this. So, yeah, it's stuck again. Okay. The third and final option to do this, because this is driving me crazy, I am just going to, okay, now I see it. Let's see if we can get through the rest of this quickly. So you'll see the math diagnostic, select the green button to start your diagnostic. I don't know if it's still in green, but afterwards you end up watching a video and you click on each button to watch a video about each tool, okay? Then you must click on all of them before you can press start. You will not be allowed to start the test until you do all this stuff, okay? Once you start or resume your diagnostic, you will see this question pop up on your screen. Are you working in your school building today? So obviously we will not be. We will be at home, so you click no. Click yes if you are taking the diagnostic at school, okay? Click no if you are taking, all right, and it froze again. We're going to do this, the last option, because I'm gonna go crazy if it doesn't work anymore. Okay, now we should all see it, right? So I'll move because I don't know if it gets cut off for you guys. So let me see, I'm gonna have to do the full slideshow, which is very annoying. Okay, so back to where we were. Click no if you are taking the diagnostic test at home, which is what we are doing, okay? So you just click no. And then you click the green arrow to move on. Okay. Then you have the introductory demo videos, you have the math one and you have the reading one. Then we have the helpful hints. Take your time and do not rush. Read each question and answer choice carefully. If you get a question you have not learned yet, try your best, okay? Like school, your teacher and family cannot help you, okay? For math, show your work on paper for every problem. Don't try and do mental math. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Don't try and do mental math. There is a high chance that you mess up, right? And I'm not saying it's not because you guys are smart and you can't do mental math. No, I'm telling you from experience, okay? I will still make mistakes when I do mental math. Don't do it, okay? You guys are just learning some of these concepts. Don't try and think, oh, well, I know how to do this. I'm not gonna bother writing it down. Write it down, okay? Check your work before going to the next question. Double check it, triple check it. Make sure you've put the right answer, right? Because I've seen that before. I've done that before. I will get the right answer and I will put the wrong choice and I will get it wrong. Yet my work will show me that I did the work correctly. Okay, and that is the end of the PowerPoint. Are there any questions on this? No, okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory. We're not doing anything wild. I'm gonna stop the recording now.